Hello, you're welcome to Parenting with His. My name is Mojisola Shetunde. I'm a parent coach and I'm a sexuality educator. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If this is your first time of coming to this channel, you're welcome to my channel. This is a channel where I talk about everything parenting. I talk about sexuality education and I also talk about lifestyle in general. So if you're just passing by, why don't you subscribe to my channel if you're yet to subscribe? Because you will be learning a lot about parenting in the 21st century. I give you skills and steps that when you apply it, you will be able to find solutions to any of your parenting challenges. So let's dive right into today's topic, where I will be discussing ways where parents can be able to prevent and secure their children in the 21st century. Thank you for coming to this. Giving you 5 prevention tips that you can help in safeguarding your child as parents. The first one is rehearse unsafe situations. What do I mean by rehearsing unsafe situations? It means that the best way that you can be able to teach your child safety whenever they find themselves in an uncomfortable situations or in an uncomfortable environment is to talk about it and also practice safety strategies. I'll give you an example. For instance, you take your child to the park and sometimes the park is so filled with people and your child tends to just play, continually play around with his friends at the park. And a stranger asks your child, "Have you seen my dog?" As children, they love dogs, they love pets. Your child will definitely say, "Yes, do you have a dog?" Even if the child hadn't seen the dog, the child will be so thrilled to help the stranger in looking for the dog. But you need to put a safety caution. Let your child know that once a stranger asks that, "Have you seen my dog?" the child should endeavor not to enter any car with that stranger. Because some stranger may say, "Oh, let's check in my car together. Maybe the dog is there." Or because the stranger knew or that person knew that that child was already thrilled at the voice or at the sound of hearing a dog. So you can practice it at home and say, never enter a car whenever a stranger says, "Let's look for something," and give you an instance of maybe that thing got missing in the car. That's tip number 1. Ensure that you keep your child from any form of unsafe situations. Rehearse it from home. Another example I will give you is sometimes strangers may call your home. And because you haven't given your child first-hand information or you haven't taught your child about how to receive calls at home, the child tends to give more information than what you expected. For instance, if a stranger calls your home and your child picks the call, and the stranger asks the person or even someone that your child knows and says, "Are your parents at home?" the child shouldn't say yes or no. The child should ask, "Why do you want to know whether my parents are at home? Do you have any form of message for them? You can drop it with me." Your child should not or never tell any stranger or any person whether the parent is at home or whether they are not at home until that child asks a question and say, "Have you reached them on their mobile phones? Have you been able to get through to them? Or do you have any message that you want to drop for my parents? And I will get back to you, or they will call you back as soon as they can." These are the examples that you can use in teaching your child safety and putting safety measures in the home. Tip number 2 that I will be giving to you on how you can prevent your child and safeguard him from danger is to teach your child your real names and also your phone numbers. I teach little children aged 7 years old in my place of worship. And sometimes it surprised me that some children don't even know their parents' phone numbers. Sometimes their parents come late to pick them in class. And when you ask those children that, "Can you give me your mom's phone number or your dad's phone number so that I can call them and let them know that you are still waiting in class?" I'm always surprised. And I'm so, it baffles me Some children don't even know their parents' phone number. In this day and age, parents, I know many parents are on this table. A 7-year-old can converse. A 7-year-old understands when you talk to that child. So as parents, ensure that your child knows your name. Let your child know you as Mr. Something, Mrs. K, Madam. Let your child know your real name, apart from mommy, daddy, because it helps that child. You might be in a park or you might go somewhere in the mall and your child just stroll away from you. And the security personnel in that particular place get hold of that child. Do you think they will start calling you? They will be saying, mommy, mommy, mommy. They won't even know the name to call. So you need to make your child know your names. Your real name is very important. Teach your child your real names and make sure your child know your phone numbers. Let them know your phone number. The next tip I will be talking about is for you parents to always read between the lines. There are some times you want to take your child to a neighbor's house or to a friend or to a relative's place and you see this countenance on the child. The child begins to behave in a particular way or the child is refusing to even leave the home. But I know you're in a hurry, you want to go out, you need to pick some things at the grocery stores, but this child refuses to leave the home. You need to read between the lines. Sometimes this child may be experiencing emotional abuse. It might be physical abuse because it's not everything that is sexual abuse. But the truth is, you need to ask questions. Call your child. A child that always wants to go to a neighbor's house, or a child that always wants to go with you to your relative or your friend's place, decided or refuses to go with you, or the child is behaving in a particular way. I think this is the time for you to sit down and ask your child questions. Ask your child, why don't you want to go to this place? Okay, can you tell me what happened the last time we went? Were you not comfortable in that place? What were the children talking about? How did you feel being around them? Let your child talk to you. If you don't give time or you don't try to read between the lines, you may not be able to communicate easily with this child. Because all you'll be saying is, this child is too cranky, this child is too stubborn, is too naughty, he doesn't listen, she doesn't want to go to where I ask him or her to go. This is not the time for you to get angry. Rather, this is the time for you to sit down and ask your child questions. It's a way to prevent your child from being in any form of uncomfortable situation, or even safeguard from the child from being in any form of danger. The next tip is for you to set boundaries on privacy. Sometimes you see some children, they will just barge into their parents' rooms or even into visitors' rooms. This is not supposed to be. Parents, you need to teach your children on how they can knock the door, and not just to knock, because even when you tell some children, knock before coming in, they knock, they don't wait for the answer. They just knock the door and they just open it and come into the room. You need to teach your children on how they can knock the door. Once they knock the door, they hold on for the person at the other end or in the room to say, who is at the door? They tell them, I am so person, or the child says his or her name, and the person will tell the child whether she wants the child to come into the room or for the child to hold on a bit for her to finish whatever she might be doing at that point in time. That is setting boundaries on privacy. If you don't teach your child to knock the door, to wait at the door, and wait for instruction before coming into the room, your child will always barge on you inappropriately. And I don't think you want your child to see some things that you don't want the child to see, because children only model what you teach them. When they see you do things, they also do it. But when you tell them to do things, they might not do it. Most of the time, they don't actually do it. They only do what you do. If you teach your children how to knock before coming into your room, then when you're going to your child's room, you have to knock as well. And you need to tell the child, can I come in? Or after knocking, the child will say, who is at the door? You tell them it's mommy or it's daddy. You can come in. That is teaching your child boundary privacy. I know some parents will be saying, is it not my child? Sorry. I know this child is your child. But don't you think that your child deserves some respect as well? In as much as you want respect, you should also give respect. The last tip I will be giving is for you to avoid personalized clothing or stickers on your child's clothing or your child's backpacks. I know it's okay. Many parents want to be able to kind of distinguish between a child's particular thing and another child's particular property. It's okay, but there's a way you can do that. You can actually write whatever you want to personalize and put it inside a child's backpack or inside a child's clothing, not on the outer part. Have you ever wondered, sometimes your child is working and someone just calls the child's name out of the blues, and the child is wondering, how does this person know my name? Because you've already written the name of the child on the backpack, so someone can call the child. And what do you think will happen? Because when someone calls your name like that, it makes you think that person is familiar with you. And children cannot distinguish most of the time between somebody that they know and somebody that they don't really know. Because they think once you know my name, definitely you know me and you're familiar with me or with my parents. So please endeavor to write whatever personal things you want to write or your child's personal name. Put it in the backpack instead of out of the backpack. Don't inscribe it at the back of the bag or at the back of the clothing. Ensure that it's inside the backpack. And I want to say something else. You know, sometimes I'm driving and I see some cars. They will inscribe proud parents of dash school. The school of their, that their children attend. I beg to differ. I don't think it's appropriate for you to paste something like that or a sticker on your car. What are you trying to say? You're trying to say, track me, because this is this is the school that my children attend. We cannot be too careful in trying to safeguard or prevent our children from danger. Because once you paste that particular sticker, it's easy for whoever to track your children's extracurricular activities, to track your children's schools. So I think it's not appropriate. That's my personal opinion. I think it's not appropriate to say proud mom or proud parent of so school. I don't think it's worth it putting it there. But above all, I'm sure and I hope you have been able to get something from all these parenting tips that can help you to prevent your child and safeguard our child from any form of danger. In this day and age, it's very easy for people to get carried away because of work, because they think, oh, everybody likes me. This is my neighbor, is a very kind person. I'm not saying your neighbor is not kind, but we can't be too careful in safeguarding our children in the 21st century. Thank you once again. If you have enjoyed this video, please drop your comments. And if this is your first time of coming to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, give a thumbs up, and please put the notification bell so that whenever I post any video, you will be notified. And before I go, I always say something. Remember that the methods of parenting has changed and it's evolving. But the goal of parenting remains the same, which is raising a wholesome child to fulfill his or her potential while adding value to the society. Parenting is not a walk in the park. I can testify to that. Till I see you next time, thank you for joining my channel once again. My name is Mojisola Shotunde. Bye. Have a beautiful week ahead.